Now we have customer and product data loaded in our workspace. Let us look at the customer data once. To do this, we will run this command view customer. You can see in the first column there is a unique customer ID, then there is customer name, segment, and so on. And the last column is region. This table lists down all the customers. If you want to get the aggregate of customers in each region, what this means is if you want to find out the number of customers belonging to each region, we will create a table which will have regions, and against each region it will have count of customers. This is called creating the frequency distribution of a particular variable. From this data we will find out the frequency of occurrence of each region. So how many times south comes in this column, how many times west comes in this column, and so on. So let us go and run a query to find out this frequency distribution for region variable. To do this, we will run y gets table, and within this we will mention the data which is customer, and after a dollar sign we will mention the variable which is region. You can note that we are navigating using the arrow keys and pressing tab to select the particular option. If I run this command, there will be a variable called y created here. It is a table. It has 4 values for the 4 different regions that we had in our data. Let us look at this y data once. We'll just write y and press enter. You can see it has 4 values, each for 4 different regions: central, east, south, and west. Central comes 184 times, east comes 220 times, and south comes 134 times in our data. If you want to look at in a proper table format, you can use the view command, view y. If you run this, you can look at it in a proper table format. We'll go back. Once we have this data, we can create bar plots on this. Bar plots are graphical representation of frequency distributions. It will have colored bars. The height of these bars will denote the value of that particular variable. So when we have categorical variables, that is, we have categories such as central, east, south, and west, we can collect the frequencies into a frequency distribution. This will give us the number of times that particular category is appearing in our data, and that frequency distribution can then be plotted in the form of a bar plot. Let us create this bar plot, and once this is created, we'll discuss it further. To create a bar plot on this data, we'll just write bar plot and write y here, control enter. You can see in the right bottom window, in this tab of plots, we have a bar plot. These 4 are the regions, and this axis gives us the frequency. So central is somewhere around 170. If you look at this, which is confirmed by the data, it is 184. If you look at the height of this table, it is somewhere around 225. East is actually 220. So basically the height of the bar is giving you the frequency of this particular category. Now there are certain parameters of this bar plot command. We'll add them one by one so that you understand the importance of each of these parameters. So these parameters basically are the properties of this bar plot that we have created. Parameters include the color of this bar plot, the orientation, the boundaries, all those things. So you can change these values. So let us first arrange this bar plot in the order of these heights. To do this, we will write bar plot y square bracket order bracket y. When we do control enter on this, you can see this is order in the ascending order. If you want to arrange it in descending order, you just put a minus sign in front of y. You can see that the plot is now in descending order. The second parameter that we will discuss is to change the orientation of bar plot. So currently the bars are standing vertically. If you want to change the orientation to horizontal so that the bars are shown horizontally, to do that we will write bar plot y within square brackets order with y comma HORIZ, which is for horizontal, is equal to true. If you run this command, the bar plot is now horizontal. Next, what we often like to do is change the color of this bar plot, because this bar plot may not be looking very good, and if you want to use this bar plot in your presentation or in your research analysis, you may want to change the appearance of this bar plot. So we will change the color of this bar plot. To change the color, there is an additional parameter called color, COL. You can also write color completely, but COL will also do. And if you want all the bars to be of the same color, you just write that particular color's name. So you can write red within double quotation marks. If you run this, so you can see all the bar plots are now in red color. If you want to give different colors to these different bars, you can create a concatenation of different colors. So we'll use the C function, and within brackets we'll mention the 4 different colors: red, comma, green, comma, blue, comma, beige. Close the bracket and run this. You can see the colors have changed. The bottom one is in red color, then green, then blue, then beige. If you want to look at the list of all the colors available with R, you can just write colors, open and close bracket. In this console window, you can see all the list of colors. So it has a lot of colors. Apart from mentioning the name of this color, you can also use this particular number. So basically colors is a array of these values. So if you mention colors and within square brackets you mention the number of this color also, you will get the same color. So these are all the colors available with you. Now if we want to remove this black boundary around each of these bars, we'll add another parameter, and that is called border is equal to NA. So we'll write border is equal to NA. Control enter. So you can see the outside border, which was black in color, that border is removed from all the bars. Now if you are going to use this chart in some presentation, this chart should have a title. To add a title to this bar plot, you need to use a parameter called main. So after border, we'll add a parameter called main is equal to, within double quotation marks, we'll give the title of this chart. So it is frequencies of, so it is frequency of regions. If you run this chart now has a title. If you have a longer title and you want to use the next line, you can use this special character, this escape character with n, which signifies that you want to use the next line. So the first line will contain only frequency of, and after that the next line will have regions. So if you want to break the title into 2 lines, use /n. And if you also want to label the x-axis, to label x-axis there is a parameter called xlab. So we'll copy paste this whole again, and in the end we will add a parameter called xlab is equal to, and within double quotation marks we will give the number of customers. So if you do control enter here, number of customers is now the label of x-axis. So I think our bar plot is ready now. We can use this bar plot in our presentation. To use this bar plot, we'll need to export this chart into the form of a image or a PDF. There are 2 ways to export this graph into an image. One is to write the command that if you run this command, you'll get an image in the location that you specify. The other is a simpler one. This comes with RStudio only. If you go in this block, there is an export option. Within this, if you click on save as image, you can save this image, give the image format, the width, height, and the directory where you want to save it. And if you click on save, it will be saved as an image. But this comes only with RStudio. I'll just show you the command also. If you are working on R and not RStudio, you'll have to run this command to get the bar plot in image format. So this is the code to generate PNG. You'll start with writing PNG. After that there is a parameter where you'll give the location of file and the name of the file that you want to save it as, then the width and then the height. When you write this line, a PNG saving device will start. The bar plot you will draw after this line. Once this bar plot is drawn, you'll have to switch off the device. So this third line is also very important. dev.off, this will switch off the device. So in the second line, we have written the whole syntax of bar plot. Whichever parameters we discussed, whichever we want to keep, we do not want to keep, we can have it here. Once we draw this bar plot here, then we switch off the device, we'll see that a PNG file is saved at the location that we have specified. This is not required if you are working on RStudio. If you are using RStudio, better use this image, save as image and save as PDF options.